We are Elixicure. We're a plant-based, organic, natural pain cream. We replace what's out there right now, which is mostly filled with chemicals, and that includes all the legacy brands, Icy Hot, Biofreeze, Bengay, Tiger Balm, Capsaicin, name it. All the top 50 brands have some sort of known carcinogen or color or filler or dye to make the product cheaper so they can sell for cheaper. And the way we created our product was out of necessity. About 10 years ago, we became plant-based, me and my brother, and we were looking for products that were void of chemicals, and we started living in that lifestyle. And our mom had been through dozens of surgeries, carpal tunnel. She'd been through both her wrists, both her elbows, neck, shoulder, name it. Like I said, dozens. And my brother went to visit her, and when he'd seen what she'd been prescribed by the doctor, both to ingest and topically, they were all filled with terrible, terrible chemicals, parabens, fillers, dyes. So when we went out to search for something that was natural, we couldn't find it. We searched every place high and low on the internet, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Mother's, every food place, every whole natural place that you could find did not have a natural pain cream. And that's when we realized that there was a void in the market, and a very big void, and it hadn't been filled since Biofreeze, which kind of took over by storm, and every physical therapist and chiropractor was touting it. This is the best next thing. Well, if you really look at the ingredients, it's great. I'm glad it works, but what we made works even better. And there's science behind it, and there's a lot of chemistry, and it's an elixir. It works for aches, pains, bumps, bruises, soreness, stiffness, migraines, headaches, and much more, cramps. And so we decided we had to make it ourselves. And at that time, we decided that there was nothing else that we could put on our children and nothing else that we could put on our mother. So we created it ourselves, and that's what we did. So that's how Elixicure was born. And through that message of Elixicure, we've become to basically sort of an evolution of what is happening in our society. And somebody told me a while ago, actually my brother, 100 years ago, if you rolled up on one of those wagons, with a hat and said, hey, here's my elixirs and here's my potions and, early pharmaceuticals, nobody was taking pills back then. If someone told you I had a magic pill that'll help with your headache and it'll help with your elbow and it'll help with your knee, people would think this guy's crazy. But now every day people are popping ibuprofens, aspirins, like it's nothing. It's no big deal. My doctor said it's okay. People die from NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. People die from those. And there's a very low education factor and a lot of information that's being suppressed about these drugs. So when your elbow hurts, you don't need to take a pill and put your liver through hell. You can go topically. It's been done for thousands of years before we had pharmaceuticals. So that was part of our revolution, is letting people know that we have something that can help you naturally and more long-term. So, and feel free if you guys have any questions during this presentation. It's an open forum here. So, and so we created a lifestyle brand. we've had everyone from top athletes in the UFC, Olympic Training Center, in every single sport, including surfing, jiu-jitsu, name it, snowboarding, skateboarding. We're sold in jiu-jitsu gyms, in chiropractors' offices, physical therapists, snowboarding shops, skateboarding shops, CrossFit gyms. So we created a really sort of a revolution, and we've had sort of people tell us that we've made pain cream cool. And nobody's going on their social media and talking about Icy Hot or Biofreeze or Bengay, but they're posting about us. They're letting people know about us, how it's changed their lives. I can't tell you how many times we've heard people telling us that they got their lives back. We deal with a lot of people who have rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, neuropathy, and they say they've never experienced faster or longer relief. So it really is a driving factor for us. And that's created, like I said, this ecosystem of people that have come on board and not only use the product, but go to the rooftops and have become cheerleaders for us. And our biggest mouthpieces have been our athletes and our physical therapists and chiropractors. So again, our mission, the mission of the company is to honor our connection to nature. And that mission never ends. And that's why it's our mission. And one of our visions is to improve the quality of people's lives. And that's what we've been doing. So this is the product here. We have roll-ons, pumps, and then we'll have patches soon. And then we're creating a sports line. We've been working really heavily for the last 8 years with, like I said, the UFC, the Performance Institute with the UFC, which houses over 600 athletes. It's their $300 million facility in Las Vegas. And we deal directly with their trainers and their, if you guys know who Jeff Nowitzki is, he's one of the most hated men in sports. We work directly with them. And same thing with the Olympic Training Center for their for their taekwondo and their Olympic gymnastics. We've been sold pretty much in a lot of places, especially locally in Orange County, Southern California. Like I said, surf shops, health food stores, chiropractors, health clubs, cycling clubs. We're on Amazon, Amazon Prime, Walmart.com. We're in several 7-Elevens. And like I said, customers love it. We're working with the top physical therapists and sports medicine people in the world and athletes. We've created events and sponsored a lot of major events in all types of industries, including health and wellness. The Natural Expo West, where we've made a lot of connections there. And we created an amazing team. Let's see what we hear. Just more of our Olympic, these UFC athletes, pro surfers, Grammy award-winning artists, pro snowboarders. These are 2 top 10 athletes in the UFC that are currently top 10. And like I said, everyone that works with us becomes family, and they spread the message regardless of what's out there. They know the truth. So we're putting on events. And this is kind of where it leads into why we decided to tokenize our company. We wanted to become the first consumer packaged goods company to be tokenized on the blockchain. Right now there's mostly services, real estate, investment trusts, and we saw an opportunity to take the company in the future. We believe that in the future you're not going to be buying stocks of companies, you'll be buying tokens. And whether it's Pepsi or whether it's Elixicure, you'll be buying the token of the company. It just makes way more sense. The compliance is built in. I mean, we partnered with Vertalo. We did a lot of research for a long time, spoke to many companies, and Vertalo was the best solution and had the best staff, and it made it a no-brainer for us. So I'd like to personally thank them and everyone that we were working with. It's just been a pleasure for us, so thank you. And you guys know most of the stuff that's happening in this blockchain and what's happening with these regulations. So we're at sort of, where we're maxed out to where we're supposed to be in this process, and we're looking to the future because we believe this is going to be how everything is going to be ran, including starting businesses. You're not going to go to the Secretary of State and file with LegalZoom. You're going to go to the blockchain and create your business on the blockchain, and that's the way it's going to be. And somebody here is going to create that business that puts those businesses on the blockchain. I already know someone sitting here is going to do that. And so this is basically the tokenomics of how we broke down our coin. It's very basic. We have this available online, so if you guys have any questions, we can, you can come see us, or you can go online and check this out and reach out to us. But or for suggestions as well. Again, so this is we're all here because these are the best minds in the industry, and we're here to learn, not to show off. So we want to learn from you guys, and again, these are some of the things that we're doing. We feel like having the token as opposed to a stock is going to create a way bigger benefit for the customer, including, we create exclusive content at all these events, from music to sports to just lifestyle comedy. So having this token and being able to, suggest maybe doing an NFT as an event pass and having access to all these exclusive content and exclusive events will be part of that ecosystem. And including entering into raffles automatically and free products every month from our line and from sponsors and stuff like that. And so this is our projections here of what we want to do. We really feel like we can be a market disruptor. Like I said before, the last big name in sports cream or sports medicine come out was BioFreeze, and that's over 30 years ago. It's a very stale market, and we feel that we can really disrupt it and be sort of the Red Bull of sports medicine and pain cream. We're already headed in that direction. And these are distribution objectives with the major outlets and big box, which is happening right now. And this is our team here. We have a fine team, a lot of people. This is probably just, I'd say, maybe 20% of the team. So we're building, and that's about it. Let's leave it on this slide over here. Does anybody have any questions? Or, it's really sort of it.
Where's your product made?
So when we started making the product, we couldn't find anybody that really we would make it up to our standards. So we built an FDA licensed and registered facility, CGMP certified. And so we make our batches, everything in Santa Ana, Orange County, California ourselves, from start to finish. Bottling, labeling, mixing. And then as soon as we're in the process right now of having a West Coast and an East Coast co-packer for big box, Walmart, and CVS, Target, because we won't be able to handle the capacity. And then eventually we'll build our own facility through our either Reg A or A+, filing or our raise there.
How did you guys go about selecting the plants for the elixir?
Well, so my brother spent about 2 years creating the formula with several formulators. And the idea was to take every single thing that we knew was, first of all, FDA approved already and already had data charts and research done on it, so we could make claims against like camphor and menthol. And then we took everything out of the other brands and decided, he'd done about 33 different formulas, and we kept sending it to our mom and our friends. And when this formula came out, the overwhelming response that we had was incredible. We kept hearing like, I need more. I gave it to my friend. It worked so good. I need to get, and we just couldn't make enough of it. And that's when we knew we stopped everything else that we were doing. We're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Yes, sir.
What's your moat? What stops the big brand to go, you know what, we'll take the stuff out of here and replace it with whatever you have or similar things, and sort of use our big market share to say,
We've already been approached by Procter & Gamble and these bigger companies, and they don't build brands like that. They buy brands. They don't have time. They can't create a culture like we've created. Nowadays you can't fake the social media, and you can't fake real people and all the stuff that we've done. It's not something that you can reproduce. You would need hundreds. Excuse me?
It's the brand, the culture.
It's the brand and the culture piece, correct?
They're a big company.
Yeah, 100%. And we're basically like, the analogy I look at is, we're this little seed in the crack of the sidewalk that's going to grow, and we're surrounded by all these giant buildings, these chemical companies, and these other brands that's going to grow and basically take over and turn it into a jungle and into a natural space. So that's what we're doing from the inside out.
Can you talk about just some of the results with people who have used your product? Can you give us some highlights of this person had a problem, they used it, what happened?
Man, I get dozens of texts, emails on our social media, on my phone, of people, and I have to stop reading them because they make me emotional. I mean, I could pull out one right now from today. And like I said, our biggest cheerleaders have been the athletes and the chiropractors, the physical therapists, and the sports medicine doctors, because they can see the fastest results on their athletes, the recovery, their performance. But our biggest consumers are rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, and neuropathy. And the ones we hear, we have people, and again, if you know anybody that has rheumatoid arthritis, come grab a bottle. Anybody in this room, we brought boxes. We have a bottle for everybody. Take it, tell them to put it on 2, 3, 4 times in the first couple days and see what happens. The thing that I hear the most is, I got my life back. We have people who say they couldn't put their hand flat on a table from their arthritis. They couldn't open a doorknob. And they say 2 days, and they're like, I got my life back. And when you hear that, it really resonates. You take things for granted. We take things for granted all the time. Just walking, hearing, seeing, opening a door, putting our hand flat, being able to grab something. And when you get these responses all the time, and we have some of them on our website, and if you go on reviews, Google reviews, Yelp reviews, you'll see we have a ton of people posting on our social media of how they got their life back. And the thing I hear the most is, I want to take a bath in this. We hear that all the time. There's no gimmick. It really works. And that's the reason it's become our mission, is to honor our connection to nature, is to let people know there's an alternative. You don't have to be in pain. You don't have to be stuck on the cycle of constantly taking pills every day. There's ways to get around that.
How much are you raising, and what's the minimum investment?
So this with the way we're structured this token, it's the first raise is 20 million, and the minimum investment is 10,000. But now that we've been here, we're learning more about the Reg A and sort of going with the customer base that we do have, and going to someone that wants to put in. We have people calling us every day like, I want to put in 1,000, I want to put in 500, I want to put in $5,000, I want to put in 500. We can't do that. So now we're looking at the Reg A. It's something that, again, why we're here is we want to meet with you. We want to talk to everyone here and decide what's the best path for us to get where we need to go to. We have all the ammunition we need. We just have to figure out which direction we're pointing it in.
You could do them side by side.
And that I did not know. So I'd love to learn more about that.
Is there a bath product? I thought I saw one.
Yeah, there is a bath bomb. Yeah, and it's,
Bath bombs.
you put it in and you just have to make sure you have a,
Salt, right?
correct, yeah.
Salt bath.
You just have to make sure you have a clear path to the bed from the bathtub because you're just jello after that. It's just jello. Yeah, it works. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead.
What's the shelf life?
Well, because it is a natural product and because of FDA guidelines, we've done stability tests. It's good for up to 2 to 3 years on shelf, and we're allowed to put. So we put 3 years, but we have stability tests that have been here for 6, 7 years that are still good. We pull them out every like 5 or 6 months to check, and we have products that have been good since we've made the original batches in almost 7 years ago. So, but yeah, for FDA compliance, it's 3 years on the package.
What's your timeline for the tape and other stuff?
We're in the process right now of finalizing all the artwork. And so we're looking to launch that entire line, I'd say within the next 6 months at the most, maybe 3. That's, it's been in process for a long time. We're working with a lot of, actually, something really interesting, it's a really amazing piece of knowledge is a gentleman working with, his name's Dr. Tim Brown. He works at the U.S. Pro Surfing, the U.S. Open. He's been there since the inception. He's one of the founding members of the AVP, the Association of Volleyball Professionals. He's spoke at the Red Bull Symposiums. He's just a monster in the industry, and he's worked with LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. He works on all these guys, and he's one of our biggest mouthpieces. He's one of the reasons that we've gotten into a lot of these major athletes because he actually had done research for a Red Bull Symposium about 7 years ago, they asked him to speak on recovery and the process, and when he really dove into the research, he was looking at what our current modality right now is I'm sure you guys have heard of RICE, rest, ice, compression, elevation, right? Well, he didn't want to go out there and just spew the same thing that everybody else does. So he started doing his research, and when he started doing his research, he realized that there's very little research done on ice, and actually the research that's been done on ice has all been negative, like on the human body. And the reason that is what happens is when you put ice on an injury, well, first of all, let me back up. 100 years ago, Coors invented ice, or the refrigerator. So before 100 years ago, you're walking down the street and you sprained your ankle. You didn't go to the side of the road and put ice on your ankle. What happened for 5,000 years before we had ice? We had camphor, menthol, all these ingredients. And this is the research that he came to before he found us, was that using ice actually, you want that inflammation because you want that blood flow. Putting ice on it reduces the space and actually keeps the blood flow from having full effect on your recovery. Not only that, the IGF-1 hormone, which is released for healing, is actually suppressed. It's released in your brain. So this is all stuff you guys can look up. The IGF-1 hormone, when you use ice, is tricked into thinking that your body's not hurting and it stops the healing process. So icing can delay the healing process from anywhere 2 days to 2 weeks. So actually the replacement is using Elixicure. And he goes and speaks to people, to giant forums with other physical therapists and chiropractors and sports medicine, letting them know, like, hey, it's called the end of the ice age. That's what they're coining it. It's called the end of the ice age. We're not using ice on athletes anymore. They're using Elixicure. They're using natural products that are going to keep the blood flowing and let the body heal. So there's a major shift going on right now, even in sports medicine, and that's why I feel like we're part of this revolution in showing people, like, hey, there's way better ways to heal your body than just taking pills and relying on a doctor to, putting your responsibility and your power into somebody else's hands is not good. Yes, sir.
Have you guys patented the formulation, or are you able to?
No, there's no way. I could just put one different ingredient in there, but it is like Coca-Cola. There's a recipe. You can't just take. I can give you all the ingredients, and you can try to throw it together. It's like a chef. There's a very, very specific way to make it. It's an alchemy, I would say. But yeah. Like I said, we've had, the biggest companies come to us, and they're not looking to recreate these formulas. And people can go ahead and try. I mean, it's taken us a long time to get to where we're at, and we have an 8-year head start on everybody. So go ahead. But yeah, no patents.
All right.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you.